Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 11 of 25 Days of Christmas, and for this one we are going to be talking about Black Christmas 2006, or Black Xmas, whatever you want to call it. So this one is a remake to the 1974 classic of the same name, and it is definitely taking some things from that original, but it definitely makes it its own movie as well. So in this one we do have a group of sorority sisters who are pretty much snowed in for most of this movie in their sorority house, and they do happen to have an unexpected guest show up at their place, and he happened to have lived there previously, and he's ready to spend Christmas with all the girls. So this one I did discuss just briefly in my video about some of the worst Christmas horror movies when I was talking about Black Christmas 2019, because that one definitely belonged on that list. But this one is good and it definitely deserves its own review. So I had not watched this one in many years. I watched it probably around the same time it came out initially, and I just wasn't super big into horror at the time. I was just kind of starting to dip my toes into that, and it just felt very excessive. And it still does, but I have come to really like that about it. But back then, it was pretty excessively gory, and specifically, there was so much eyeball gore. And I still hate that kind of thing to this day, but it's something that I think a lot of people hate seeing, so that's why they put it in the horror movies and stuff. But yeah, we get a ton of eyeball stuff in this movie. And yeah, that did just kind of turn me off of it for a lot of years. But then I think probably maybe in 2022 or 2023, I rewatched this one again and I realized that there was a lot more to love in here. And I am a firm believer in going back and watching a movie years down the road to see if you like it more, because I think it's the same as when you are younger, you might not like eating a certain type of food, but years down the road, you might try it again and you might like it more. Just as your taste buds change for food, it's kind of like your horror taste buds change, and you might like a movie that you didn't previously. So I am really glad that I finally gave this one another chance after all those years. So this one, like I said, it's very excessive, not just with the eyeball gore, but we get some other really good gory stuff here. And I can think of like the icicle death. That one is a really good one. And there are some very disgusting Christmas cookies, to say the least. That's a pretty disturbing thing here. Another thing that's very excessive about this one would be like the backstory that we get. And I think that honestly it's just a product of its time. In the 2000s, we would get these remakes of popular movies from the past, and they would put their own spin on them, and a lot of them did use a lot more gore, and they would have just crazy backstories. And this one has that in spades, that's for sure. So we definitely get a lot of backstory with our killer, and we did not really get anything like that in the original film. And yeah, the backstory that we get is just insane. Back in the 2000s, they just were not afraid to be offensive and cover some crazy topics like what they do in this movie. And it's just not something that I really see that much nowadays. I mean, we will still, I don't know, broach some of those subjects from time to time, but they're done in a little bit more nuanced of a way than what we have in here. And I'm not saying that I hate this or anything, but yeah, it's a lot with that backstory that he has. But honestly, this movie is a lot of fun, in my opinion, as someone who has came into their own a lot more as far as horror goes. I think that as horror fans, we can have fun with movies like this a lot of the time, just having all that excess of gore and just weird themes and stuff. It's fun and I don't know, kind of trashy in a way, but like the best way, if that makes any sense. But I think that this one also is just a gorgeous Christmas horror movie. It really does look like Christmas throughout the whole film, and there are just creepy things done to tie into some different Christmas things in here. And another big selling point for this one for me is that it has a really good cast. You know, we've got Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Katie Cassidy, Lacey Chabert, and the late Michelle Trachtenberg. And it's just honestly insane to me that she has passed away. That one just definitely caught me off guard, that's for sure. But yes, we do have a great cast in this movie. I think that they all play well off of each other, and that's definitely a selling point to this one for me. So let me know down in the comments what you think of Black Christmas 2006. Is it one that you have a lot of fun with, or is it one that you dislike a lot? You're more a fan of one of the other two Black Christmas movies. I want to hear all of that down below. I want you to leave a like on it if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing if you haven't yet for more horror content. I do post 2 new videos each week. You can follow me on Instagram with updates on my channel and additional horror content. And you can also follow me on Letterboxd to see what I've been watching lately and my brief thoughts on any of those films. If you want either of those, they are linked in my channel description for easy access for you guys. I want to say thank you to everyone who has been supporting me so far. It doesn't go unnoticed. My name is Devin. This is Carpenter Hill. Thanks for watching.